In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
Amen.
Please be seated. Happy Easter, everyone. A very warm welcome to you all. It's wonderful for you to be here. Have you heard the news? Jesus' body is missing from the tomb. What could have happened? Someone or something must have taken it. That's the only logical explanation. Over the course of Lent, we have been reading from John's Gospel. And in John's account of the resurrection of Jesus, that is the way the women imagine when they first show up at the tomb. Mary Magdalene, in the dark, finds the tomb empty and wonders, who stole the body? What creature dragged it away? Throughout John's Gospel, Jesus pushes us past the boundaries of our usual earthly logic. He stumped the Pharisee Nicodemus when he told him, "You must be born again." What? The woman at the well, she couldn't grasp what Jesus meant by living water that would forever quench her thirst. What could that be? It certainly wasn't earthly logic that guided the man born blind to wash the mud paste from his eyes so that he could see again. And when Jesus gathered with Mary and Martha and the others who were grieving Lazarus' death, gathered at his tomb, it made no sense when Jesus said, "Roll away the stone." Then cried out, "Lazarus, come out." And when he did, unwrap him. Mary Magdalene, a dedicated follower of Jesus, who had been with him through many of these instances. Even all those examples of Jesus doing things that defied logic could not grasp the truth of what she encountered on that Easter morning. I don't remember a lot of sermons from my childhood, but I do remember Father McGarry reading from the Gospel according to John, that account where it describes most of the linens that were covering Jesus over here, but the one that was on his face over here. And Father McGarry used logic to tell us how this account must be true because of that kind of fine detail. Perhaps I was a precocious child, but I thought, couldn't John just have written that down? No, I had to come through faith to faith, through something beyond logic. I had to come through faith, the way Mary Magdalene did, faith in the resurrection the way she did when she heard Jesus' voice call her name, Mary. Then she turned around and saw the one whom she thought was a gardener and said, Rabboni, teacher, Lord. And then she became a witness. Then she went and told the disciples what she had encountered. We're not going to get there by human logic. We have to be quiet and attentive for Jesus' voice calling our names. Then calling back, looking, listening, hearing, encountering, and then becoming a witness ourselves. It's through those little faithful encounters that I stand before you today. I grew up in a rural parish in Wisconsin, dairy country, and I grew to faith as I saw the farmers with their big, thick, muscular hands come back after receiving communion with a glow as they returned to their pew. They had encountered something that transformed them. I came to faith kneeling next to my father, not understanding what was going on at the front of the church, but seeing him, when the priest held up the bread, take that big, thick farmer hand and press it against his chest. Repenting, calling upon God for mercy. And then I went off to high school run by a bunch of priests and brothers who each of which had heard Jesus call their name. They encountered him and they dedicated their lives to teaching, to serving, to passing on the faith through words and through actions. And I think, with respect to the resurrection, it was my mother who sealed the deal for me, who far too young at 53 was dying of breast cancer. And just like Jesus, she cared for us until the end. And the most caring act she offered was by facing her own earthly demise with confidence that the resurrection is true. It doesn't end with this life. The Easter story invites us to embrace that reality, not just on our deathbed, but now. It is true. He's risen from the dead. Sin and death is not the final victor, and it knows it. If you approach it with faith and hope and feel God's love in the midst of all the challenges of life, even the challenges of facing death, if you face it with faith, the fear, the sin will flee from you, because it already knows who is the victor. We have all had witnesses that have brought us to this point in our life. But now it falls to us to be the transformed lives that bring others to faith. By our lives, our words, and our actions, we bear witness to what we celebrate today. So don't leave the celebration to this space, to this brief time together, but carry it with you, with hearts lightened by faith, lightened by love, lightened by hope that it is true. And the world will be changed. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.